Hi, this is Brian Wormers, and I'm going to be covering a lecture today and covering a review of the LMS and what it's going to be like for NUR451, Sections A and B of Management, Leadership, and Professional Issues. So you can see that I pulled up Course B, and so A and B are going to be very similar, just the times are going to be different. So if you are in Section A, I hope that you are an accelerated student, and we will be having management leadership at 11 o'clock till 12:30, and that will be in room 214 in the Science Center. If you are in the trad group, we will be having lecture in 218 in the Science Center from 9 until 10:30. And so that's the only difference. But just kind of a welcome message here. You know, we think this is going to be a fun course for you. You're learning about management, leadership, professional issues. We'll have an emphasis on NCLEX and signing up for your licensure. And so it is an important course for you, especially as you go on through your career. So you can look at all this kind of fun stuff. You can see the different stuff. You've had LMS courses before, so it's going to be hopefully in a similar format. You can look at the LMS for lots of different information in regards to your courses, your grades, your assignments, all those kind of things. Contact for us, Megan Fredrickson's contact information is here. My information is right here. Feel free to contact us with any questions that you might have in regards to the course. If you have additional needs, we've got other support services with the Academic Success Center, the Mirrors Library, and the Register, with links and phone numbers available right here. Downloads for the syllabus is right here, and hopefully you've seen this course overview right here that you've clicked on, and that's what you're watching. So that's this page, and this is going to be the first page that you'll see. So moving on, attendance. I don't think that you'll really need this one much. You can probably click on it and see who's there for the day. Double check yourself, make sure you're getting full points for this, as attendance is part of your professionalism for this course. Course information will kind of give you an update, give you contact information for us, schedule, and a description of the course. I don't expect you're going to use this very often after like the first day. Course organizer, some of you really like this one. It kind of teaches you about what's coming up next. So you can kind of see the next events and the calendar stuff, the coursework, and work on it that way. Coursework, you'll be spending a lot of time in coursework on this one, and we're going to go through this and talk about some of these things that you're going to do. And so as we're going through, you're going to see leadership styles quiz. Take this before we talk about it in class. It will help you out to realize what type of a leader you are. Are you authoritarian? Are you a dictator type of leadership? Are you laissez-faire? Are you, there's a lot of different styles out there. Are you a servant leader? Learn about what those roles are, what those titles are. See what type that it says you are in this quiz. See if you agree with it. Maybe you don't. Are you a transactional type of leadership? Are you transformational? And we'll talk about that in class. So with that, you're also going to be talking about it on a forum post. Within these forums, you've got A, B, and C. You'll be grouped into one of those groups, and then you make your initial posting like you do for everything, for all your previous courses, it probably seems like. And then from there, then you've got to reply to 3 of your small group members on their postings. Please make it substantial, not just the standard algorithm of, Brittany, I loved your comment. It was great. I too agree with this. Thank you for posting such an insightful comment. Please add some substance to this. Have citations, have references, when appropriate. But you'll see that for your forum posts, you do have smaller groups. That's to make it a little bit more manageable, so you don't have to read all 20 of your classmates' posts. You've got a smaller group to work with. But within that, the expectation is that you do a little bit more work on your posts, since you don't have to read everybody else's. We do have ATI Civility Mentors. These are programs within ATI that you have to do and upload a screenshot of your completion. So 1, 2, and then on discussion boards regarding this week for conflict and incivility. Once again, group A, B, and C. you'll be part of one of those. Change projects. So as you've gone through this program, you've probably seen something that you want to change on the floor or in an area that you've worked at before. You will get into groups with this one, and within this, you will come up with a change project. So as I clicked into this, you can see that there's going to be a rubric here for you to follow about your delegation of points for all the different things. Your topic choice, your content, your organization, your analysis, your format, your discussion posting. So this will be a posting up for the groups. And then as you scroll down, we do have links for how to record a video onto YouTube. I'm guessing that you can do this already, but there's reference here. And then also your project directions. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at your clinical environment and see something that you want to change. What are they doing differently than what we talk about in school, or what is school doing differently? Maybe you've seen something that's really cool in one area of the hospital that you think that another area should be doing. But anything can be a catalyst for change, and it can be through any aspect of the clinicals you've had thus far, or any aspect for that you can reference. You'll have to pick a change theory. How are you going to do this? What are the different change theories out there? Lewin is probably the most widely used because it's only a 3-step, but you can use any change theory that you wish. You're going to put a plan together. You're going to talk about how you're going to implement this. Don't forget that it's going to take some time. So with this, you're going to do all the activities that you'll use to combat the problem. How are you going to bring about change? How do you know if there is change occurring? How are you going to monitor it? Are you going to do surveys? If so, give me like an example of your survey, put that in the appendix. And then, how are you going to make this change permanent? So you're going to also have to include, if you're going to do a flyer, put a flyer in there, those kind of situations. Make a timeline that's reasonable for this. It's not, boom, I said it, therefore it happened automatically. How are you going to change this on that floor, or on this unit, or on this whatever you want to call it? Come up with this, meet with administration, talk about it, get approval. From there, we're going to make flyers, post flyers in every place, including the bathroom. Talk about it at a meeting for the unit. Implement it on this date. Be available for any phone calls or questions that people might have on that. 1 month later, do a follow-up survey on this, or somehow to analyze the problem and see if it's gotten better. And then, what are the materials you'll need to deal with this? And then what did each member do? So when you do this, make sure that you're accounting for the authorship, and so that everybody's got authorship of this. Create a PowerPoint of it, upload it to YouTube, and then make sure everything is correct in YouTube. Make sure it's got APA format, title page, reference page. Make sure you got your appendices in there. If you're going to do a survey, make a quick survey up, put it in here in your presentation. If you are going to do, a bulletin poster, make a little flyer quick and like what you're going to post on the bathroom doors, or however you want to do this. But make sure that you've got some representation from everybody in the group, what they all did, and then the slides should all have citations and references when appropriate. And your presentation, this should only be about 10 to 20 minutes in length. But that being said, this is supposed to be a project in which you are implementing change theory and applying that as appropriate. So after your change project, we'll come to portfolio. Within portfolio, you will see this is just going to be an aggregation of some of the stuff that you might have. This is in case any of your future employers want to ask you questions about this. Within this portfolio, you will have a resume, which the Academic Success Center is going to come and talk to you about. You are also going to send this resume to the Academic Success Center, and they will give you individual feedback on your resume. I want you to include that resume that you've recently done on this in this portfolio. Example of professional writing, something from Capstone might not be a bad bet for this one, but some kind of example of how you did some great research with this, or great write-up. Personal reflections with examples, so like the 8 USF student outcomes, would be very, very appropriate on this one from your capstone paper. And then appropriate as available certifications, any certifications you got from like Child Abuse Conference or any of the other conferences that you attended, any CEUs that you've done, any professional highlights, awards, CPR, any of those things that make you attractive to a prospective employer. That's what I want you to do. It's just a way to aggregate your file folders in case anybody asks for this content. So after portfolio, you'll have discussion posting with your different sections on Crytek reading for you. So that will be on hold at the library if you don't want to buy your own copy. Prioritization delegation quiz, that's easy enough. IOM and CUSIN assignment, so look into this one and do the assignment. Staffing assignment will be the same thing. ATI Civility Mentor, so do this on ATI and upload a screenshot of that you've completed it. Team Steps quiz here, discussion boards on professionalism. 1 minute pitch to the legislator, so I'll go in a little bit more detail on this one. So within the 1 minute pitch to the legislator, we are going to, as it says, 1 minute presentation. So within this, you can do a wide variety of different things, but basically you are going to find a current list of some of the bills that are out there right now, and I will update the bill list and have an appropriate one for you, and you're just going to talk about it. So you've got 1 minute, so you're going to have, do a brief introduction, tell the legislator why that this is an important type of situation, tell them how they should vote on this bill, and then thank them for their time. So I know it's only 1 minute. That's the great thing, and the curse about this one is that you cannot go over on time. And so you are graded on, did you have an introduction? Did you describe the issue? Did you have justification of why this is important to them and to you? You do have to have a forum reply, as you are going to be posting your 1 minute speech online, and within that then you'll have replies to other colleagues. You'll have a closing statement, and then you've got to have time requirements. So if you are under 1 minute, you will be able to do this. If it's 1 to 10 seconds over, you'll be docked. If it's 11 to 20 seconds over, you'll be docked. And if it's 21 seconds or more, you'll be docked and get 0 points for this. I apologize if you heard my dog whining in the background. She needed to go out for a little bit, so sorry for the interruption on that. But getting back into the assignment, you'll see different references here. I do want you to do a real bill, and so this is from, I'll update this so you got a 2024 bill list. But this could be, if you're from out of state or if you want to do one at a local level, that would be great. If you want to go on a federal level, by all means, you can do that as well. But I was just thinking of right now, Senate and House is in session for South Dakota. So if you want those, I'll put some of those bills up here and update this. So just 1 minute, that's all it's got to be, but just remember you can't go over on it. So after the 1 minute pitches, and those are your different groups. So then we'll have ATI exam. So this practice exam, you've done those before, with remediation. You will follow a nurse leader in this experience. So you and another colleague of yours will follow somebody that's in a nursing leadership position. Now, I am going to let you sign up with somebody that is close to you. My recommendation is not to do it with necessarily your best friend. However, do it with somebody who's got a very similar clinical schedule with you, and if they are going to work at the same hospital that you're going to work in. These leaders have requested that if you're going to work at Avera, you sign up to work with an Avera leader. If you're going to work at Sanford, they want you to follow a Sanford leader. If you are not going to work at either system once you graduate, then you are free to pick on either side. So please, since I do not know who's all working where and who's all doing what, I am going to make a sign-up sheet and where I'll have all the different leaders listed, and I want you and your partner to sign up for a slot. We've got about half of them filled. I will wait until we've got all of these filled from the hospitals, and then I'll put this out and let you know of when it's going to become available. You and your partner sign up for a leader. I will get you that leader's contact information, and you will contact them directly. You will set up a time to follow them. You're going to follow them for approximately 8 hours, and you get to be that leader. And what that will mean throughout the day can be a variety of different things. You might be in on a hiring process. You might be in on a firing process. You might be on a corrective action. You might be in on, I don't know, toilets are overflowing. You have to work on that. Last year, somebody was with a manager of the reproductive lab, and the power went off, and the coolers were cooling down, and that was a major issue for artificial insemination and doing those kind of things, as you can imagine. So they got to work with that. The purpose of this is so you can see what the director does, the manager does, and you can also do a write-up on them. They will do a write-up on you. This is going to be that write-up. You know, were you professional, arrived on time, communicated clearly in your emails and in your phone calls. And so you can kind of see how you're going to be graded. You will hand this, each student will hand this to your leader, and the leader will give it back and email it back to me. Otherwise, they can put it in a sealed envelope and sign across the back of it, and you can hand it to me. But this will be the leadership's portion of this and their review of you. Now, also tied to this leadership experience will be a paper that you and your partner have to write. So within this, you're going to follow that leader for 8 hours, and then you're going to write about some of the following things. What was that manager or leadership's leadership style? You could ask them, but you can also determine it yourself. And it would be good to ask them, and then especially if they are different than what you think, you know, you can write that up. That'd be a great thing. That they said they were a transformational leader, but today they seem more of a transactional leader. Realize that every leader is probably going to have multiple different things within their quiver and their armamentarium of picking out different times to use it. And we will talk about that in one of the first days of class. But articulate that role. What did they do? What was their position within the organizational structure? How did they interact with the interdisciplinary team? Who did they all interact with? Did they interact with physicians, RTs, physical therapists, nurse aides, you know, just nurses? Describe their roles in planning and evaluation about the health systems, you know, anything with shared governance, strategic planning, staffing, scheduling. And then, you know, use of the IT. You know, did they use a phone? Did they use computers? Did they use any pumps? Did they help out nurses on the floor with any of the technology that was out there? What software did they use? Did they use anything for budgeting? Did they use anything for staffing? Those type of situations, and what kind of IT did they all implement within their day-to-day practice? So, and then look at the EBP. What did they incorporate into their daily lives? So this is a 5 to 7 page paper in APA, looking at all those concepts, and you and your partner will have to write that up. Now, of course, it goes without saying, when you're following your leader, please be on your best behavior. You are following some of the cream of the crop of the nurses in our local areas, including people that have been on the board of nursing, have been instrumental in driving nursing within the state of South Dakota and beyond. And so they are gracious and they honestly love having you. But make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. You never know. Maybe they'll turn into a great mentor for you. Maybe this could turn into a job opportunity for you. That being said, when you sign up for your leader, make sure that you don't have any conflicts of interest with this. I do not want you following a leader for the floor that you currently work on or that you will work on, because that can get really awkward, especially if you're talking about hiring and firing and corrective actions and things like that. Make sure that you do not follow anyone that you might be related to, because that can get awkward as well. And then finally with that one, make sure that you don't have any close friends or family that are up there either. If they have to do corrective actions on your mom and dad because your mom and dad work up there, that would be awkward. So if situations get awkward, you can always excuse yourself from that situation, but I'd rather have you sit in, get the experience from that, and move on from it. But realize this is a great thing. These leaders chose to have you, so they should welcome you with open arms. But realize that this could be an important stepping stone for you and could be opportunity for great mentorship and great leads. So, also tied to this will be your culture of service. So your culture of service for this course is actually going to be that you're going to give your leader that you're following a gift. This is meant to be something fairly simple. Go to the bookstore, get them a little cup, put some candy in it, and I'll give you a thank you card that you can fill out and just do that. So that's going to be the culture for services. Oftentimes, our leaders, our managers, our directors do not often get the praise that they often deserve for the hard work that they do. And so that's what we're doing this semester. The way that you're going to prove that to me is you're going to take a picture of this before you submit it to them. You do not have to take a picture of the leader with the reward. You do not have to have them sign anything saying that, yes, I received this, gift from the students. Please don't do any of that stuff. That looks really tacky. I mean, if you had a great experience and you want like a selfie with a leader and they are willing to do that, you go for it. But to prove for the culture of service, just take a snapshot of the gift that you're giving them. I prefer that you give something that's going to last a little bit longer. And what I mean by that is give them a coffee cup. Give them something that they can use repeatedly. Don't just give them a $5 gift card for a coffee that they'll use once and forget about it. Use something that they'll think about you, that experience that they had with you and USF, because that's going to help recruitment. That's going to help getting you and future students positions within that health system and that organization. All right, next one we've got is nursing informatics discussion groups. So once again, group A, B, and C. Within this, you're going to find within a journal article, you are going to look at informatics, and it's got the directions on there. But go to the Wagner library, do a search for this, make sure you log in so you've got access to this. But there's a specific journal that I want you to utilize. And then find an article and do a summation of it and do a review of it. You've had evidence-based practice, you know what high-quality stuff is, but go in, find a good journal article, and share it with the rest of your group. Week 12, that's that culture for service, where you're getting a gift for that leader that you're following around. Health-related political experience. This is going to attend like a Cracker Barrel, not the Cracker Barrel with the pancakes and the sausage, but a Cracker Barrel is a political event, and I will get you a listing of some of those that are happening. This could also be like a school board meeting. This could be a local government type of situation. This could be a wide variety of different stuff. This could be a day at the legislature. This could be, come and talk to me if you have a great idea for this and you wonder if it will work. But I will get you some of these things that could work. Like I said, this could be a wide variety of different things. But I want you to go in with the mind of a nurse, because you're important and you think differently than the general population does. Even if you're talking about school boards, think about what a pediatric nurse might say. Think about your aspect of health and well-being in the schools. That can relate to lunches, physical activity, school, development. You have got some experience in this, and think about it within the lenses of a nurse and what that political thing would mean. You can go to some of those Cracker Barrels where they're going to discuss some of the bills this year and how the public wants these legislators to vote. So think about those kind of things. You can go as a group if you want, but just go have fun. When you go there, you can just have them sign a piece of paper that will be attached to this, and just to prove that you were there. Proctored ATI with remediation, you've done those before. Professionalism points, those will be designated by Professor Fredrickson and myself. There will be a final exam on this one. There will be a little caveat on this. I will have you take it solo by yourself, and then if you want that grade, then you are free to walk. If you want to, you will be offered another opportunity to work as a group with this one. That will be randomized that day, and you will get that score. It will not be the better of them. if you choose to work on this exam as a group, then that will be your end score as that group. And we'll talk about that as it gets closer to the exam, but just realize there will be a final exam over the content here. So last thing that's listed in here is fake exam, so just for your lockdown browser. Scrolling back into resources, actually forums, you've done that. We've kind of talked about these different forums and what's expected out of that, and you're going to have small groups with that. Within the resources, we should give you some other information here for you. Different types of leadership, as we talked about, tutorials. This will be the same stuff as that you had linked onto your capstone assignments, so you can utilize that for references again, but just different links. So we are going to open these up probably about a week ahead of time before you have these classes, just so we can update these and make sure that things are as appropriate as possible. The coursework should be open so you can work ahead of that stuff. So like I said, that 1-minute commercial, just do it, hammer it out, get it submitted. But these things will be open about a week beforehand, just so we can get this the most updated as possible. But we do have lots of references and resources for you as you're going through this course. So that being said, you've had all access to resources before. You know it, you love it. And if you have any questions, of course, ask on that. So started at syllabus and welcome, so we're done with that. Roster, you can see who's in the class with you. News and announcements, we may post stuff here. I generally will more likely send out an email if anything changes or if there's pressing matters that I need you aware of. So sorry that this is so long. I did want to go into some depth with this, especially regarding some of the assignments. But that being said, if you have questions, please come talk to either Professor Fredrickson or myself, and I'm really excited to have you in this class. All right, have a great one.